You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The Herons are champs. Yeah. Roll south to Freedom Park, rocking pink and black. Official tissue in the 305, bounty full of grapes. The Battered Fan with Chris and Dan dropping hot takes. Messi and the Herons start the season with a star on the crest, so 29 fan bases can cry, cause we the best. Sign homegrowns like Noah, Frey and Ruiz, replacing goats with grapes. Yeah, Miles got the cheese and he called it. Freedom to dream was the backbone. From Lockhart to Miami, it feels good to be at home. Multiple times a week on YouTube and audio. Take the time to subscribe, like and share the show. So check and chat, grab your MLS cup and coming. No question about it, I'm ready to get a star again.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 569 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, I got Mr. KBD, and I got from the Drive Pink Dialogue, Mr. Scotty Graves. Let's start with Scotty. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay, man. Thank you for having me. I can't report anything happier than that because I keep watching my favorite soccer team lose over and over, which has been kind of a bummer lately. But other than that, I'm doing okay. How about you, man?
State of the Herons, we do these once a month. We haven't done it since before the World Cup break. And I feel like it's the perfect time because I feel like the world is crashing down on the team right now. It feels like, at least. Still second in the East, still third in Supporter Shield, and yet it just feels like disaster is upon us. Chris, how are you doing, sir?
I mean, Danny, we're second in the East, but like by a miracle mile. Like you make it sound like, oh, we're right there, second in the East. No, we're like in Loserville.
It's not as bad as what San Jose and Seattle are going through, right? San Jose came out the blocks. They were undefeated in the first 10 games, won 9 out of 10. They had like 28 points, or 29 points to start after the first 10 games. And I think after starting with 29 points in the first 10 games, I believe they're at 34 or 35. Like it's some ridiculous fall off. Like it's not that bad yet.
But Danny, there's a difference. Seattle and San Jose don't have Messi. They don't have big names like Casemiro and RDP and Luis Suarez. And should I keep going? Rocco? Like, come on.
Scotty, is that ultimately what it is? Is that why everything feels so much so much more magnified? It's because we have Messi?
Well, I think we have expectations, and that's a big part of it. The expectations weren't to finish second in the East. They weren't supposed to finish third in the Supporter Shield. They were supposed to win and win comfortably. And Nashville's out there sort of running away with it. It's not the type of thing where we're going to be in control of our destiny. It's not the type of thing where we're going to be there at the end if this doesn't change immediately. And that's, I think it's disappointing to have a stretch of games where you lose 2 trophies in the matter of 2.5 weeks.
Were you your expectations before the season started? Did you have expectations of winning Supporter Shield? Because I didn't. I always predicted Nashville was going to win Supporter Shield. I thought it would be either them or Vancouver. And after they got Christian Espinosa, I felt like I didn't think that they would be as hot as they are because they're on pace to break Inter Miami's single season points record. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but I thought Nashville would probably win the Supporter Shield. What were your expectations for Inter Miami before the season started?
I don't know if I really want to get into this because I had high expectations, and I would
higher
just
than
say,
mine, I'm guessing.
Yes, I thought the defense was going to be markedly better when you brought in an improvement at goalkeeper, or so I thought, and then Mikael, who I thought was going to be a huge improvement. And I didn't really foresee Maxi Falcone and some of the guys that we did have at center back kind of falling off a cliff. So the defense has somehow gotten worse. Injuries. And that's tough. So my predictions were very high, and they're not going to come true.
And you're talking about injuries affecting those 2 players you just mentioned at the center back position. Plus Silvetti pops a shoulder out. Plus Allende, his legs die on him. And, we're losing literally like big pieces of our attack.
Yeah, none of that's an excuse to me, honestly. Maybe for the one game against Monterrey where they kind of Messi has his family tragedy, and so they have like 12 hours to figure out a game plan, and they are already missing a bunch of attackers. For that game, I think I can excuse them with everything going on. Since then, though, I don't think that's really an excuse. You got a lot of healthy bodies that are supposed to be really good on this team and playing right now. So, yeah, I don't think that flies for why this is going so wrong so quickly.
All right. So I guess let's down to nitty gritty. Chris, we are 11-6-4, 11 wins, 6 draws, 4 losses. First, okay, let's start with Guillermo Hoyos. I don't think he's going anywhere. 2 questions. Do you think there's any chance that he gets fired? And second, if he doesn't, do you think he can right this ship?
Well, I don't know about whether he gets fired or not, because the real question is like, who the hell is going to replace him?
And that's why I don't think he'll get fired, because I think to replace him, you need somebody that has a connection to Messi, and there's nobody out there at the moment that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, the only other, look, I don't know who else out there has a connection to Messi that's like a free agent, but like available as a coach. But that's the only reason I don't see him going anywhere. What was your second question again?
If he doesn't go anywhere, do you think he can right the ship?
No, absolutely not. I told you he's a lazy coach. He's literally drinking Coronas at the beach.
I don't think he's lazy. I think he's tried a couple different things. I don't think anything has worked out, but I think he's switched some things up. It's not like he's just letting him run out there and just do whatever.
I think he's the substitute teacher, and he's letting him run out there and do whatever. And Messi just happens to be the greatest football player of all time, with a couple other guys that are pretty good at football too. And they just happen to score goals whenever they do whatever the hell they want to do with our crappy defense, allowing goals as well.
Scotty, same 2 questions. Is there any chance that he gets fired? And if he doesn't, do you think he can right the ship?
My guess is Inter Miami thinks they already know who is going to replace Guillermo Hoyos, and that person's not available right now.
Until January, right?
Whether they want a fresh start at the new season or they're with their current job right now, whatever it may be. So I think they're going to ride with Hoyos until that person becomes available, whoever it may be. So no, I don't think he's going to get fired. Do I think he can right the ship? I do think he can right the ship, but it's going to have to take something that I'm not sure he has, but I'm not going to say he doesn't have. And that's really abandoning this new play style that he's sort of adopted since Casemiro signed, because it doesn't work and it's bad for this team.
I don't think he's going anywhere, at least not this season. Can he right the ship? I think he will right the ship once we get healthy. I think, because I know, and I saw you tweeting that you felt like things have fallen off since Casemiro's joined, and I agree. They have. But I think it's been more than just playing through Casemiro. I think it's the fact that they've just been playing so centrally, because Silvetti went down, and Silvetti went down. That's when the losing streak began. That's when we started losing, when we had no more wings. Allende's gone. You got Silvetti gone. We don't have any options out wide. Messi left for a game. He came back for the second half of the other game. I think that they've been forcing the ball centrally. They've been suffocating our midfield. And when you force Casemiro to be that ball distributor, but he can't play the ball out wide to anybody other than the fullbacks, I think that that's where we've been having our biggest issues. Even Berterame went down, and he was out for a while. So I think that was one of our biggest issues since this whole losing streak began. I mean, 4 out of 5. It hasn't been 5-game losing streak, but basically it's been 5-game losing streak. They, I think that's where everything began. Scotty, what do you think has been the issue? What do you think that Guillermo Hoyos has changed since coming back from the World Cup break, or better yet, since Casemiro arrived? Because that's ultimately what ended up being like that line, right, that divided the good from the bad. He came, he played against Montreal, and the next game was the Columbus game where he had the own goal, which was a bad look. We gave up the game at late, let them tie, and then after that, it's just been downhill.
Well, the answer is they stopped pressing at all, and it's dramatically changed things. I went back and rewatched this. They played Philadelphia on Wednesday night. They had one coordinated press the entire game. It was the 19th minute, and it went really poorly. Like, I'm not going to pretend like there's not reasons they stopped doing this. But I went back to pre-World Cup when we played Philadelphia, and they had 6 triggered presses in the first 10 minutes of the game, and they won 4 balls high up the pitch. They basically stopped pressing high up the field, stopped trying to win the ball high up the field in any sort of coordinated effort, and that's sort of broken their back line, of which Casemiro has sort of made himself a part of, and the front line, and there's huge gaps between your attack and your defense. They can't progress the ball through, and they can't really defend through the midfield either. So I think this team was hot and won 6 games in a row, which, they were one great goal from Columbus away from breaking their all-time consecutive wins record. Like those games, especially pre-Casemiro, they were pressing a lot. They were playing high up the field. They were winning a lot of turnovers. And yes, they were giving up some goals going the other way because they were asking their defenders to do a lot. But they were creating chance after chance after chance after chance. And they were scoring 3.5 goals a game. And they basically cut that out since Casemiro joined the team.
But wasn't Berterame the one leading that press though? Like I think that we're underselling the lack of Berterame up top with the counter pressing, and also
hustle rate.
The work rate, yeah, for sure. And then the play out wide with Silvetti. I think that those two things have been things that we have suffered with that kind of go unnoticed.
So Silvetti wasn't actually playing that much when we were winning a lot. We were playing that front three of Suarez, Messi, and Berterame. And remember, Suarez has this sort of resurgence into the lineup. So Silvetti was actually kind of a bench player during that period. So I don't think that actually has a big impact. And while I think if we had this conversation a week ago, we may have had real conversations about whether it was Berterame, whether it was Casemiro. We just saw Berterame back on Saturday night, and they still weren't doing it. So, I think that kind of goes out the window too. Now, it could be a cacophony of issues, but I really think they're trying to have more control of the game. They think they brought in Casemiro to control the game better, and I don't think this team is going to be a control the game type of team. They don't have the defenders for it. You're not getting the most out of your attackers. Like, it just doesn't work that well for this team. They thrive in chaos, and the team is trying to get away from chaos into control, and it's sort of breaking everything.
What do you mean by chaos?
Press high, win the ball high, go out, disorganize defenses, and if you have a few go the other way against you, you work hard and run back and try and make nice one-on-one plays, but have this chaotic system, chaotic play style that you then have Messi, Suarez, maybe Casemiro, DePaul, guys that are going to thrive in those quick decisions, narrow windows, those types of moments when they can attack a disorganized defense. And they're not really getting that right now because they want to be under control. And I think that's what they've tried to do by adding Casemiro here, and that's what they're asking Casemiro to do, is control the game a little bit better. But it just doesn't work for this team. I don't think.
Well, and Danny mentioned something. You mentioned something, Danny, about Hoyos will probably do better when a couple people come off of injuries. But that's essentially saying when we get our wings back, and then we're going to see some resurgence in terms of our offense. And then, Scotty, you mentioned something kind of important too, where you mentioned Casemiro and sort of like holding, the play and keeping the ball a little bit versus like what we were doing last year, whatever the case is. I think it's weird because Busquets had speedy wingers to work with, and he was able to hit them on the outlet, and Messi as well, versus now Casemiro doesn't really have that. And he's kind of like connecting with Messi, if not with other players that are kind of making the runs, but there's no confidence there because it's been, 6 games that he's been with the team?
I think it's been more than that at this point. Casemiro's played with the team. Yeah, Casemiro's played with the team how many games? He started with Montreal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think it might be 7 or 8, yeah. So Scotty made a great point where he said Silvetti was basically coming off the bench when they got hot before the World Cup break. Now, the reason I brought up Silvetti wasn't so much because I thought that he was a difference maker before the World Cup, was because when Berterame went down, I thought that Silvetti would fill that void of the high press, of the width. And when Berterame and Silvetti both went down, you can't count on Suarez and Messi to press high consistently. They're not going to do that. Even though Suarez does give his effort, and I'll never, as much as I dislike the guy, I'll never take that away from him because he will hobble to press. But they're the ones that we're counting on pressing, and that's not going to happen. I think there was it the Montreal game or the Chicago game where it was Rodrigo De Paul and Bright that were basically running the press, and it felt like the triggers were just 2 touches, and then they were off to press. And I thought that was great, but that didn't last long after that game. I think that once we get a Silvetti and Berterame, whichever of the two, back healthy, we're playing that 4-3-3, and we can figure out what's going on in the midfield. I'm not going to say things get fixed, but I think things have looked worse because of the lack of pressing up top, because Berterame was out, and we couldn't do like you said, the chaos. We couldn't press high or look for that counter press. That was basically gone. We started playing a 4-4-2 with Suarez and Messi up top, which left us basically, nowhere. And there was a few of those games. I'm sorry, I know you want to say something, Scotty, but there was a few of those games where Messi didn't play, Suarez didn't play 3 of them, Delanois and Pinter were the players out there. Like, there's been a reason. Like, this 5-game stretch, yes, it's been rough, but I think that there's things that you could point to as to why I'm not looking and necessarily thinking, yeah, we're doomed. I think that there is something that can happen where we can turn this around. I think the Toronto game gave me a little doubt, but I still haven't lost all hope.
So the thing I want to say is, we just saw on Saturday night, we had the 4-3-3. It's the same formation. You had Berterame back, and you don't get the chaos. You don't get the trying to play high up the field. You have the really struggle, play out of the back, and turn the ball over a million times before you even get to the midway line that we've had the last couple games. And also, if you go back to the Montreal game before the Leagues Cup when Berterame gets hurt, they weren't doing it then either, really. So, I do think the introduction of Casemiro has made Guillermo Hoyos decide we need to play a different play style. I'm with you in the sense that it can be remedied, because I do think in his heart of hearts, he wants to be a more aggressive coach. And I think we saw that the minute he came into the job once Mascherano left. So I do think he's going to get to a point where he's like, this isn't working. I just want to go be more attacking. And you know what? Forget giving up 2 goals. I want to go score 6. So I think that could happen. And I do think that's what's going to get this team back on track. But I'm not sure it's going to happen in time to save a supporter shield race or something like that. In fact, it may already be too late. So we'll see. I'm not without hope, but I do think it's been the introduction of Casemiro, and there's been enough moving pieces. Mikhail in and out, Berterame in and out. We've seen that the real common factor has been Casemiro, I think.
And Danny, I just want to kind of jump on that same point that Scotty mentioned. We're 10 points behind Nashville. And the fact of the matter is I think it's and we're still dealing with Facundo Mura. Like, we haven't even mentioned how terrible he's been playing. And one of the things about Guillermo Hoyos is you get the twofer with him. Not only is he coaching these scrubs, but he helped sign these scrubs. So some of the players that are on the team are a product of his diligence as a signer of players.
Do you think it's odd that Caicedo hasn't gotten back on the pitch?
Yes, I do think it's weird.
It's very weird. And
the fact that
nobody's asked that in the press conferences?
Well, I haven't looked at it, but the fact that he allowed Mura in the game before Caicedo, and he took Mura out in the first half of a game. You said that's the scarlet letter, right?
That is the scarlet letter. Usually when you do something like that.
Guess what? He's a bozo, and he brought in the guy that he gave the scarlet letter to over Caicedo because he had one pretty good game and then one horrible game.
I thought it was an inconsistent game, but that was what worried me about Caicedo. When Mura was the option last game, I thought, dang, you just pulled him in the 33rd minute. Like, when you get taken out of a game, and it's not because of a red card, it's not because of a knock, it's literally just because of your performance, that is a scarlet letter. That's usually Facundo Mura came off and he completely avoided Hoyos. He didn't give him his hand or anything because that is insulting as a professional athlete. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Facundo Mura and this Caicedo situation?
My guess is the reason Caicedo's not playing is not because of what he did on the field, because I thought it was a lot of fun, even if it was a little chaotic. But like maybe it's he's not doing it in training. We don't know. Maybe they just don't want to bring in an 18-year-old when the team's not doing well. They want to give him confidence and make sure he has a good partner next to him, Mikael. I don't know. It's been weird to me based on what we've seen.
It's kind of crazy.
I think he's got to
go ahead.
Like I do think he needs like a Maxi Falcone where he just doesn't play for 3 months. Like I do think that's called for.
Put him on
I really
ice.
Do. No, I
think that helps sometimes. Look at what it did to Lujan. Look at Lujan came back this year and he's looked so much better.
Well, he's looked better.
In the beginning of the season,
before he got injured, I was like, this is a whole other player. Yeah, he came back from injury.
Before he got injured.
All right, now recently I'm like, okay, Lujan, what are we doing? But when he first came back,
can I just say, he started to look better under Guillermo Hoyos when he finally gets into the lineup when they bench Maxi. We were playing a different style where he has to play as a safety blanket, never get beat behind, stay behind the ball at all times. And in that role, he looked solid. Now we're back to this Mascherano style, back in our own final third, trying to play out from the back, trying to win balls with our defenders as opposed to our midfield and front line. And he's getting himself out of position, beat for pace the other way, and leaving the spaces he's supposed to occupy, and he looks terrible again. Like, I don't think that's a coincidence that this play style just doesn't work for him. You guys are going to have to cut me off sometimes because I will just rant about what's going on.
Well, all good. Don't worry about it. Usually for our State of the Heron, we let you guys do the talking.
Yeah. Are you guys like really thinking this team needs a signing? Because the mojo is bad and the defense is bad.
I want to say that this team needs a signing. You know what my issue is that we're struggling and they'll go out and they'll sign the biggest name that they could find that's available in the midfield. And they'll sign an 8. They'll sign the Richard Rios right now because he's Colombian.
I went on and I think I tweeted it and I was like, they got to sign a right back. And someone goes, you're going to get Neymar and you're going to like it. I was like, that's exactly what would happen too.
But you know what? At least I feel more of a need in the midfield. The fact that we went 2 summers in a row where the midfield is congested and then we went and got DePaul and now we got Casemiro. I was like, where are we putting these guys now? Eventually we did sell Redondo. We saw Cremaki. So it made sense after a while. But at that time, Suarez was struggling. We needed a striker. Like, we needed so many things. So I don't know what they would do. What would you say is the biggest need right now? Because I'd love another keeper.
Well, but before you answer that question, Scotty,
why would you want another keeper? They're just going to be as worse. They're going to have the worst season of their career as soon as they get into
well, that's true. No matter who they bring, it's going to have a rough time.
I think so.
You're just tired of Rocco beating Dane St. Clair for the job. You're lucky that he had 2 blunders. That's what you are, to be perfect. I mean, look, I don't know about the third. I didn't see that. It didn't happen. But I'm just telling you, you're wrong. And my question is, you don't think, because you're talking about signing or what, you don't think if they just bench RDP or they bench Casemiro and then Silvetti plays with a dangling shoulder arm, you don't think that they'd be better? Like significantly better? I mean, they're not going to do it.
That, so.
Well, okay. I asked both of you, and I asked Chris first. Chris, everybody's healthy. Everybody. Allende's healthy. Silvetti's healthy. Everybody on this team is healthy. Are you starting Berterame and Suarez up top? And what are the 3 midfielders that you're starting in the midfield? Because at that point, who are you starting? You have Silvetti, you have Allende, you have Suarez, Berterame, and Messi. 5 players for 3 spots up top. And then in the midfield, you have the 4 that we've been talking about for 3 spots in the middle. Assuming we go with the 4-3-3, who are you playing?
Well, and I asked the chat also because you're cooking. You're cooking.
You could jump in, chat.
You guys know Max Kellerman where he's like, "Give me Iguodala" in like a clutch moment. It's like, and my brain was just like, "Give me Delanois." No, but no, I would start Suarez, Berterame, and Messi. I think those three had a nice chemistry.
And you would leave off Silvetti and Allende. I feel like Silvetti,
Yeah.
and I know that they won't, but I feel like Silvetti should always be on the starting 11. I love Silvetti.
That's
I feel
where
like
I would go to.
nobody gives you playmaking out wide that they could take the ball and take it into the box from the outside, play the ball in, play the cross.
He's got Robbie Taylor balls.
No, sure. I don't think that we have anybody that offers us that from the left side.
No, I agree with you, and I think if we're gonna play a play style more similar to what we're doing now, it would not be Suarez. It would be Silvetti or Allende, or one of those guys that actually can do something over the course of a 40-yard sprint. But this is my team, and I'm picking the tactics. I would go with Suarez, Messi, and Berterame, and then in the midfield I'd go Casemiro, Yannick Bright, and Rodrigo de Paul, and it would be Segovia. That would be out for me.
You would pick you would have Segovia out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the midfield, I agree with you. I agree with you with the midfield.
To me, the key is Casemiro has to not be your 6. He needs to be higher up the field. A double pivot where he's not even the defensive, like the more defensive of the two, or even playing as
it's what they did with Busquets and Bright last year.
Well, it wouldn't look like that, but sure.
I don't know if I'd go with Berterame starting. I think I would go kind of like what you were saying, Danny, where I'd go with the Silvetti on the left, and then
would you have Berterame or Suarez in the middle?
No, I have Suarez. I'd have Suarez because you
wouldn't have your $17 million DP.
No, man. Like I don't know. I didn't feel like we needed him, and I feel like Luis Suarez contributes much more than just being, a poacher, like just a goal scorer. Like his contribution is huge. And for the midfield, I'd actually go kind of opposite of Scotty. I would actually bench Casemiro, and I would have Bright. Or this is my team.
I know this is your team.
Scotty was able to pick his team. Okay,
but he was realistic.
What do you mean be realistic? What if I would have benched Messi and put Rocco up there? This is my team.
Okay, fine.
Hey, you know what? Let me cook.
Okay,
let me cook.
All right.
Okay. So Casemiro hit the pine, and I got Bright, RDP, and Segovia up top. And then on the left, I'd actually go Noah Allen. And then at center back, I'd go Mikael and Rando Bando. And then give me Falcon because I like him. I like him snapping. I like the getting under the skin stuff, Danny. I love that.
Do you know how often he gets caught out of position? I don't know why. What is he thinking? Scotty, have you seen? We have to have a highlight package of Falcon just randomly seeing like Ghost. You know how people see Ghost, but he sees like phantom balls. He sees phantom balls just going through the middle. He just attacks this phantom ball. It's crazy to me.
You don't want to start making that highlight reel because it'll take you way longer than you think it will because it'll just take forever. Yeah. No, he's been Falcon has been terrible this season. The whole season. He deserved to get benched. He deserved to not play for 3 months, and he doesn't deserve to play now based on his performance. And the antics are just
you're missing the intangibles, Scotty.
No, I hate them so much. I hate them so much. And if it's
working, I thought you would love that.
Chris loves the black arts.
If it's working, you're getting in the opponent's head. If it's not working, you're
getting in the fans' heads. You're pissing me off.
You're pissing me off, yeah. And so, no, I'm really out. I'm really out on Falcon right now.
Yeah, no, he's terrible.
And then I put Ian Frey at right back. And then I'd have Rocco.
Yeah, Scotty, you know what? You surprised me when you said that you would get a right back. We got Ian Frey. What do we need a right back for?
Because I want Ian Frey at center back. I want him to be my center back.
Okay, so if you could pick, you would put him at center back over right back? I like him better at right back.
I think his highest ceiling is at center back. And he's now 23. He turns 24 this year. I think it's time for him to become a full-time center back. And if you told me that Ian Frey and Mikael were going to be our starting center back pairing for like 120 of the next 140 games, I would sign up for that right now, and I would be thrilled. So that's why I would go for a right back, because I can't have Facundo Mora starting every game. So.
No.
But then what you're gonna get is you're gonna get your band of Muras, Weigants, and Yedlins. Like that's what you're gonna get, Scotty. Like, so you're willing to trade any center back for Ian Frey and then have a monster mash of Yedlin, Weigant, and Facundo Kaka.
I would definitely take DeAndre Yedlin over what we have at right back right now, other than Ian Frey. Yeah, DeAndre Yedlin at right back for sure.
Yeah,
I would happily take that right now for sure, and then move Frey.
I take Weigant over Facundo Mura right now.
So would I.
And I think people were too hard on Cello.
Yeah.
In retrospect, we didn't
Yes.
realize it could get worse. You know what's crazy is Facundo Mora was gonna sign with River Plate allegedly before we kind of scooped in, and it's like this dude can't play in the MLS
To replace Cello. Isn't Cello there now?
No, I saw. Cello just got a move, actually.
I think Cello he's with an Argentine club. He
just moved to, I think, Ecuador maybe.
What?
Yes. So La Deportivo Universitario.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a hot commodity, guys.
He was with Boca, not River. He was with Boca before that.
I mean, we can always go back and get Harvey Neville.
Poor Harvey.
I mean, he was good. Did you see his passes when he played?
No.
Sean in the chat mentions Israel Boatwright, and it's like that's really what this should have been. Like, he had those two bright moments as a 19-year-old in 2023, and here he should be like 75 games into his career and ready to like serve as a right back. Maybe not your starting guy, but like be able to play there. And it just hasn't worked out. And I do think that's more of a failure on the front office, not necessarily for Boatwright, but that there's no young player that they can kind of like groom into that role. And instead you spend a lot of money on Mura. So make that two errors on the front office.
What I thought would work was having Yannick Bright as the single pivot, and then you have Casemiro and Rodrigo De Paul flanking.
That's
right, basically like box to box eights, where they don't have as much responsibility getting back. They can, but they won't. Rodrigo De Paul, he's played much better this year in the attack. Defensively, he still doesn't show a lot of effort, in my opinion. But that's what I would do in the midfield. Any chance do you think we see that? Because I don't think that there's any chance we see that. It seems like they're set on having Casemiro play that Busquets role because they think he can for some reason. Even though I've watched him for over 10 years, that's not his game. He is just a better version of Yannick Bright.
This is, you asked me and you asked Chris, like, can he turn it around? And if he continues to play Casemiro like this, they won't turn it around. And he's going to have to get to a point where he has to try that. He has to try a different way of using Casemiro. And so I do think it's going to happen because I think the failure is going to force it to happen. But does that happen when, Saturday night, or does it happen in 4 weeks? Like, I think that's going to determine this season, I think.
Real quick.
Mike V saying LDU is one of the top 3 Ecuadorian teams. He have won Libertadores, Sudamericano, and Recopa. He is better off there than here. So you're telling me that we gave up Chelo Weigant and he is a hot commodity in the right back market for Facundo Mura, chosen by Guillermo Hoyos.
I don't think he played much in Boca. If I remember,
he's moving and grooving, Danny.
That's fine. He's moving from bench to bench. It's not like that big a deal. Stanty said it's not like Atlanta is doing awesome, guys. Atlanta's running a 4-game win streak, and they're like 4 points back of the playoffs all of a sudden. So I don't know. And they got a new Swedish player, Ebola, coming through. All right. So I guess we could end it with this question. Scotty, no Champions Cup. Doesn't look like it's going to be Supporter Shield.
This is the slammer question.
No Leagues Cup. Is there any chance that we look at this as a successful season? Does it have to be MLS Cup? And is that still enough to say it's a successful season? Because some people, if I would have asked them before the season, you only get 1 trophy, they would have said, like, then it's not a successful season. So is there any chance of salvaging this season as far as making it successful? I mean, you win a championship, you still feel good, but in broad terms, do you think it's a successful season? Any chance?
Yes, but I would certainly not bet on it. And I think that involves like making a chase at the Supporter Shield still. I think it involves winning the Campeones Cup. I think success to this
forgetting
team.
about that stupid cup. Yeah.
I think success to this team is not just winning in the MLS. It's being considered the best team on the continent. Like I think that's what their prestige goal is. And considering what happened in CCC, considering what happened in Leagues Cup, like it's going to be hard to be considered the best team on the continent, even, argumentatively. Obviously, they're not going to win the trophy. And so, no, I don't think they're going to have a successful season. I don't think they're going to finish on 75 points. And I think even if they win the MLS Cup, it will not be a success, even though it'll be a lot of fun when it happens. If it happens.
I'll celebrate it and everything, but I don't think it's going to feel as like when you take a step back, right? Like you win the championship, you feel good for a couple of days, maybe even a week or two. And then when you make that retrospect, right? I'm sure that you'll make the Dry Pick Dialogue will make an episode about the season. We'll do the same retrospect. You'll be like, damn, but was it a full success? I think a lot of us might say no.
What would you say about last year?
Well, that's what I was going to get to, because last year we were in the same sort of predicament, and the MLS Cup was the solve all. Like everybody was on this high, like, okay, we won the MLS Cup. It was successful, right? It could have been better, but it was a successful season. So like,
I will just tell you, I went on 2 weeks after the MLS Cup and said it was not a successful season, despite the MLS Cup.
See, I thought it was. Obviously, because we got our first MLS Cup, our first star on the jersey, which I thought that was a big thing. We made it to the final in the Leagues Cup. We made it further in the CCC than we ever had. So I thought we made some good runs throughout the season. We fell short, and I know that getting close doesn't mean much, but just trying to just look at the season as a whole, I thought that we did pretty well. Like I said, semifinal in the Champions Cup. At that moment, I was like, all right, the next step, next year we're making it to the final. That's what I thought. Leagues Cup made it to the final. Should have played at home, but Seattle beat up on Cruz Azul, got the home game because of goal differential, and then we beat them a couple weeks later. I was just looking at the season. I was like, you know what? I think that overall it was a good season. Not the best, but because it was the first star. Now this season, I think you're right. I think if we just win the MLS Cup, and I'm not even bringing up the fact if we don't win that, because if we don't win that, then it's a real failure. But if we win it, I still think we might look back and be like, wow, the CCC, we got eliminated. What was it? Did we make it to the quarterfinal in the CCC this year? Was it round 16? I don't even remember. It was our first game. Yeah, go ahead.
To me, this CCC was the same as last year's in terms of the actual product. I get they went to the semifinals, but it was a house of cards built on beating bad teams.
Oh yeah, Cavalier
and Sporting Kansas City was the worst team in the league last year, and they beat an LAFC team barely by the skin of their teeth. That was bad at that point of the year. This was pre-getting Sun when they really took off at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were bad at that point. Like I think they were 9th in the Western Conference at that point. Like by their standards, they were really bad. We barely got past them, and then we got crushed by Vancouver. So to me, that felt like a house of cards. The only thing that really felt real was like the last 10 to 12 games or so of the season, including the playoffs, where they obviously go on and win the MLS Cup. So to me, like
time to shine.
To me, that was like 10% successful, which to me, like I wouldn't have qualified as successful.
So have we had a successful season since Messi's gotten here? Have we had a successful season since Inter Miami's came into existence?
I think 2023, when they win the Leagues Cup right away, that was like, okay, we're successful.
But they should have won the U.S. Open Cup that year.
Well, Messi got hurt. Yeah.
I know.
2020,
like 20 minutes before the game started.
2022, in reality, Danny, I think 2022, and I'll wait till he puts his headphones back on. 2022 to me was a successful season.
You guys remember this? This is what they were giving out. I found this a couple days ago.
I remember
the day of the Open Cup, por la segunda, because a month prior we had won the Leagues Cup, and we're like, oh,
Mike
look,
Jones
a month later we're about to win our second
me.
trophy already. They gave this out, U.S. Open Cup final. I can't believe we didn't win that Open Cup. I
Embarrassing.
thought for sure, like we're about to win our second trophy in a span of a month. This is this should probably go to where like they send all those like Super Bowl shirts of the losing team that were pre-printed.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh,
No, but that to me, that season they like won a trophy right out the gate, and they also qualified for CONCACAF Champions Cup. To me, that was like a success. But since then, I think actually no, it's been very disappointing by the standards that Inter Miami as a club has set, which is we want to be the best team on the continent. Like I think that's what they want to be. So,
I'd like to say that if we win the MLS Cup this year, Danny. I wouldn't, even though when we won it last season, I would have considered it a success. I think this season, if we win the MLS Cup, it'll feel nice, but I don't think that it would be a success because we're supposed to build off of last year. And the fact of the matter is I think that we did worse in competitions this year than we
100%.
were last year. So yeah, the MLS Cup is a nice little ender, but I don't think it's a fix-all like how it was last season.
Could you imagine us getting curb stomped in that Campeones Cup? Because a lot of people are putting stuff like, hey, we still got one trophy to win. Imagine Cruz Azul comes over here and then just mollywops us.
Payback.
I feel like this game is more bad than good. We win and everybody's gonna be like, yeah, but who cares? It's not a real trophy.
I disagree with that.
You think people are gonna celebrate that thing?
100%. You're gonna watch these
No
players
way. It's a Wednesday night championship, Scotty.
Do you even know what exactly led to this?
They won the MLS Cup.
That's what it was. Because up until like I want to say a month ago, it was us against Toluca, and then randomly it became Cruz Azul.
So what happens is the Apertura and Clausura champion in Liga MX play against each other in one game. And then that winner goes on. And everyone thought it was going to be Toluca because Toluca's been a powerhouse.
Dominating,
but Cruz Azul won that game. So that's why it's Cruz Azul.
Well,
no, I think you're going to watch that game, and the players are going to take it ultra seriously. And if they win, they're going to celebrate like they won a trophy. And if they lose, they're going to be upset about it.
This is Carolina Cup.
It's not. No, it's not. It is absolutely not.
I think the Carolina Cup, at least we went through like a little tournament there. I mean, this is a one-off game on a Wednesday night.
You know, this is one of those trophies that frustrate me that they do in Europe also, where they have like last year's La Liga winner play against last year's Copa del Rey winner, and it's like the first game of the season. Like it's almost done in the preseason, and then everybody celebrates it. Like Mbappe, his first ever game in Real Madrid, he won a trophy. It's the dumbest thing in the world, and because they were defending champs. So they played it. I forgot what trophy it's called. Somebody I'm sure that watches La Liga faithfully will remember what the name was called. Like maybe that Supercopa or something. And it's like it makes no sense to me. Like that was last year. Why are we playing this trophy now? I don't know. I hate those trophies. But football does it all over the world. That's why Messi has like 50 trophies, because there's just random trophies all over the place to be won.
And I think they're going to treat it that way. Like I think they're going to treat this like it's a trophy that they can brag about and celebrate and make a big deal about. And remember, like, Inter Miami has two trophies in their trophy cabinet, right? Like, it's not like they're littered with hardware where, you know, oh, there's just this Super Copa that goes in the far corner. Like, I think they're going to treat it very seriously, and they're going to win. And if they win, they're going to treat it like this is one of the great trophies in Inter Miami history. I do think that.
Why do we host?
Because
I think the MLS team always hosts, for financial reasons.
And Mike V here is saying if we get stomped by Cruz Azul, it is worse than losing to Miami FC. And then the question, talking about hosting, FIFA Highlights is asking, why do you think we're experiencing this slump, and why do I feel like we struggle a lot at New Stadium? Because it's purple, and it's New Stadium.
They should change those letters to pink, right?
And it's still leaking, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, when it rains, like it's still like torrential downpour. Like, what is happening?
I won't be back until the Atlanta game, so I don't know. I'll tell you then.
Well, I think that this how much gear do you think they're going to have in the shop, Scotty? Like, there's no way they have
Campeones Cup
lined up
gear
for this Campeones Cup gear winners of your 2026 one-off Cruz Azul.
Obviously, I'm not a season ticket holder, so I've never been to like a game right after they win something. But like, did they do something for the Supporter Shield?
No,
Like,
they
I would
didn't.
imagine
No,
it's similar.
for the
I would
MLS
imagine
Cup.
it's gonna be similar.
The MLS Cup, they didn't do anything either. What did they do?
No,
Okay,
Danny,
so then, no,
remember
I
we
don't think
bought
they're
our
gonna do
hats.
anything for the Campeones Cup in that sense.
Remember we bought
he's not talking. He's not talking about gear. He's talking about just in general. Did they do anything?
Oh,
They said,
I mean,
remember they said like, oh no, guys, don't worry about it. The reason we're not doing anything is because we want to celebrate at a new stadium. We never got any celebration. We got.
oh
nothing.
yeah.
We got nothing.
Yeah.
So
No,
do you guys? I mean, we just had this conversation about whether they can have a successful season, but do you think they're gonna win any of these things, like the MLS Cup or this one-off?
yeah,
to
I
me,
think they were gonna win the MLS Cup. I know
do.
I might be talking just out of feeling, right? Because nothing that I've
Oh, yeah, you
seen
are.
should leave me to be like they'll win. But what I've seen historically for Messi and just his run in tournaments, I'm not comparing Inter Miami to Argentina, so relax. But you see the way the Messi magic works in these tournaments. You've seen him in the World Cup, where the Argentina team this year wasn't as good as previous years, but they still managed to somehow make it to the final. Last year in Leagues Cup, that team, it kind of just like stumbled its way to the final somehow because Messi missed like 3 or 4 of those games. But when it comes to tournament time, unless they're not playing against Brad Guzan, they managed to do decent. Like so, yeah, I think that they could win. And again, when I look at the Eastern Conference, I understand that they've stumbled against some Torontos and other teams, but when it comes down to playoff time and they know that these games matter and things like that, I think it'll be different. And I can't imagine anybody that could put up a fight with Inter Miami other than Nashville. Chicago puts a little fear in me, but Nashville is the only team I would be worried about before the final against in the West, obviously.
Can I put something in perspective for you since you just went on your rant, your fantastical, magical rant about Inter Miami winning it all?
Mhm.
Nashville, who's at the 1 seed, has allowed 17 goals. Okay.
That's for you, Chris, obviously.
Chicago and New England has allowed 26 goals as of now. Charlotte has allowed 32 goals as of now. We're talking about the top 5 teams. Inter Miami's allowed 40. Danny. And you think that that's going to be the winning recipe to a successful MLS Cup championship run?
Yes.
You're out of your freaking mind.
Chris, remember last year they had a horrible defense?
Yeah, and then Rocco came in and wrecked
Oh, it was
shit.
Rocco. Okay, so maybe Rocco will come in and wreck stuff again also this year. But remember, things change. Tactics change. They put in Silvetti on the left side. They stop. I mean, I guess right, now it's not Mascherano. Now it's Hoyos, so things are different. But yes, I do believe that they'll find their way through. Again, maybe that's just me being biased. Scotty, you're a little more even keel. You're not extreme like Chris, but you're not biased like me. What do you think?
I think they are really bad right now, and I think if they went into the playoffs this weekend, they would lose in the first round.
But it's not for
this
another
guy,
3
Any
months.
playoff team.
This
Until
guy,
I
Danny,
see something that
thinks-
makes me think they're going to switch this up, like I can't have any faith.
What team do you think could beat this team?
If they go in like they're playing right now, they can
Mhm.
lose to any team that will make the playoffs in the Eastern
I
Conference.
don't think so.
That's
Danny,
Mm.
they barely beat Montreal like a month
I
ago.
know. Rocco tried to
And
give it
you
away. I
hate
know.
Montreal.
I do.
What are you doing?
No.
What's wrong with you?
I'm telling you, I think that what we're witnessing right now, you're gonna see that this doesn't go very much longer. Once the team starts getting healthier, once we figure out this whole midfield thing. Look, we're finally gonna see what they choose, right? Because we went back to the 4-3-3, but it's been kind of weird since Casemiro got here. It's Messi's out, Suarez is out, so we go 4-4-2, 4-4-2. We finally go to the 4-3-3, but Rodrigo De Paul is suspended. Then Bright is suspended. For this Montreal game, we're finally going to see what the plan is. We're finally going to have Berterame, Suarez, and Messi available. We're going to have all 4 midfielders available. I'm curious to see what that looks like because this is going to be the first time we get to see it.
What do you expect to see this weekend, Danny? Because I think we talked about what we would do and what we think's best.
I
but,
expect
what do
to
you
see. I expect to see, much like you and I said, Segovia on the bench, I expect to see counter pressing. I expect to see Rodrigo De Paul and Bright being the leaders of that press, the way we saw against, I forgot what team it was after the World Cup. It might have been Chicago, where I thought that was great because those are the engines and they were winning balls in the opposition's final third. That's what I expect to see this weekend. Bright and Rodrigo De Paul running that press because, unfortunately, they are still going to leave Casemiro playing as that deep playing midfielder. He's going to be that single pivot, but that's what they're going to use Bright and De Paul for. And, like you said, they're going to create a little havoc for Suarez and Berterame to get what they get. That's what I expect to see. Now, I wish Mikhail was back. Is he going to be back from Montreal? I have absolutely no idea. I hope we see Caicedo instead of Mura out there. But I think that all of this will start getting figured out. I think that I'm not a huge fan, but I'm glad that we at least have St. Clair at goal, so he can play some of those crosses in the air that Rocco was kind of just watch them as they flow by his face. Like I think that I think this will be better. I bet my life, Scotty. I don't know if you heard. You know how people bet money? I bet my life. I said just take me now. Like if we lose to Montreal, I just bet my life.
You're so dead. You're so dead. Like
that's how confident I am that we're gonna beat Montreal.
You know that you're taking Segovia off, right? Because you're Hoyos' boy, right? You're taking goals from the field. You're taking goals from the pitch.
As much as I like Segovia, I don't think that he's given us much over the last month.
But what I'm telling you is like, Danny, if we lose to Montreal this week, first of all, you're dead. So I'm doing a solo show because you're 100%. Dead.
No, I put my life on the line. Absolutely.
Second of all, we're all dead because we're cooked. Scotty, hold on. Ashton Malcolm with a $5 super slam. Here's a little fact for Danny. In the last 3 years, every MLS Cup champion has a great second half run in the season. Take it as you will.
It starts this Saturday.
Oh yeah. It starts this Saturday. You know what, Scotty? Let me ask you a question.
No. Hold on. Before
this guy Danny is here.
You got Montreal.
Bloviating.
You got Montreal. Then you got Atlanta, and then you got the rematch against Nashville. If we beat Montreal,
what a disaster! We
have Toronto again?
No, in Chicago. You forgot about Chicago.
Atlanta.
Oh, sorry. It's a weekday game. So we have Montreal, the get right game. We have Chicago, the stomp out the baby brother third place team. Then we have Atlanta, which we're gonna kick their ass, and then you have the rematch against Nashville. If you win 2 out of those next 3, maybe draw 1, and then you beat Nashville at home, tell me if all of a sudden on September 12th at 10 o'clock when we're doing the post game, then not everybody's like, oh, we're back, oh baby, Nashville, the little brothers, Nashville, you suck. And tell me, trash. And I can see the chat now, Trashville, blah blah blah. Tell me that that's not what's happening. September 12th at like 10 o'clock. It is, and it starts with Montreal. I bet my life already. I can't bet. There's nothing else I can bet. Can't bet my house, my life. That's it. We're beating Montreal.
Are we beating Nashville in 3 weeks?
I have to see how we beat Montreal.
Listen,
I have to see how we beat Montreal. We're gonna beat Montreal. I don't know, but it depends.
That was a really nice story. It sounded great, but let's see if it actually comes.
One win at a time. 1 win at a time. But I have no doubt that we're beating Montreal.
Danny, I'm looking at the schedule. If we lose to Montreal, it's so over. You're dead, and we're done.
I'm done. Yeah.
Atlanta United, if we lose to them, it's even worse. Chicago, Lewandowski's gonna put like 4 on us.
No, he's not.
And then Nashville played their greatest game against Inter Miami last time they played us, Danny.
They're gonna come in a little overconfident.
You're expecting to come in with a little swagger against Nashville when you got Hani Mukhtar and Sam Surridge and Espinosa, who just happened to stumble upon Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm going to tell you something about Nashville that people haven't realized. They like to play down to the competition. So when they come in a little overconfident, they play like shit. So they did that against Atlanta. Yeah. They're going to come in confident against us, and we're going to whip their ass. So they started after the World Cup break. Atlanta outplayed them. They barely won 1-0. Montreal, They beat them 1-0 because they got a phantom penalty call in like the 86th minute. They should have ended up with the draw against Montreal. Columbus this past weekend, they were 2-1. And then they had that miracle 3-minute 2 goals, all of a sudden steal the game away. But they should have lost. They played down to their competition. The Miami game, they wanted it. They wanted it so bad. I'm telling you, they're going to come in a little overconfident. September 12th, we're going to mollywop them. Well, what happened last time? Hey, Scotty, what happened last time that a team took over the Supporter Shield lead over Miami and they kicked our ass at the same time? Do you remember that, Cincinnati?
I remember in
You remember
2024 what happened.
And
But
you remember
I
that
also
what that account put?
I do, and it definitely went Inter Miami's way. I also remember in 2025 where Inter Miami went to Cincinnati and lost 3-0, and we played them a couple weeks later, and they kicked our butt. We got a 0-0 draw at home, but we were the worst team. So I don't know if this they need to change things up. Like
Didn't we?
I don't want to
Didn't
think
we
about
beat them in the
Nashville.
playoffs?
We did beat them in the playoffs. You're right.
Wait, come on, man. We come out on top.
Okay.
This is what we do. We're into Miami. We have Messi. We come out on top.
We also lost to Orlando twice in the regular season and beat them in the Leagues Cup last year. So
That's what we do.
You know
when
what?
it when it
You know
counts,
what?
we're gonna
Okay.
mollywop them.
Fair.
That's it.
fair. I need to see something against Montreal this weekend. They are at a point where they have to change things, I think. I thought they were there before Toronto, and they changed nothing. So I hope this weekend we see some real changes. If they don't change things, like I'm going to have less and less confidence that they're going to change things. And I think they're just going to try and brute force their way through. And if that's the case, I don't think this is a team that's going to go do much. So hopefully we see the changes this weekend.
By the way, after we get obliterated by Nashville, that's the Campeones Cup, which we're going to lose to that, Fisher Price Trophy goal. Fisher Price Trophy. Then we play San Diego and face off against CJ Dos Santos, Danny. I mean, are you ready for that?
We're gonna be champs. I don't care.
So,
Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. And then I'll end it with this, and I'll let you guys sign off.
And you say I'm
Worst-
bad.
Worst case scenario. Well, I have to be. I have to level you off because you're so dramatic. So, worst case scenario, Miami wins nothing. They get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Guess what? Salary cap restrictions go out the window. Jorge Mas and David Beckham are going to go insane on this roster if we don't win anything, because they are going to try to reinforce this, because it is it's going to be very, very bad if they don't win any trophy.
That's a positive.
I mean, that's worst case
no, I
scenario,
agree.
but that we don't have to get there, because we're gonna win the trophy, and it starts this weekend against Montreal. Get ready.
So to recap,
How convenient.
we've lost 4 out of 5 games. The sky is falling. Casemiro's destroyed the team, and we're going to be champions. Stay tuned on August 2026.
Look, we
It's
have these
over.
moments
It's
every
over.
season. It happened. When was it that it happened last season? Because I remember last season there was a stretch where we were horrible. I remember we had scored 1 goal in 4 games, and it was a Benjamin Kremaki in Cleveland Brown Stadium Superman header, and it was really, really bad. And well, I mean that's what happens when you have Messi on your team. I expect to win the trophy at the end of the year. I expect to get another star. I expect to have 3 stars by next summer, just so you know. By the time summer 2027 comes around, I expect to have 3 stars across that badge.
You know what? I don't think it's unrealistic, but they got to change things, and they got to do it
And they will.
2 games ago.
Look how frustrated we were with Rocco. And Hoyos made the change.
Yes, but yes, I'm with you. I think
He's willing to make
They will
changes.
turn this around.
He's
I
not
think
a
that's
good
okay.
coach. He's not a good manager.
I agree.
But he does make changes. I mean, they're not
And I
great,
think
but he's
I think
trying.
he has the right. I think he has the right instinct for this team, which is
Yeah.
to be more aggressive,
Yeah.
and he's gotten away from that. And he's that's I think where he's going to default back to.
You know what? I got to remember to come back to this episode so I could throw this in everybody's face when we were champions, and it started with the Montreal game. That's all I got to say.
How convenient is it that you pick the Montreal game for it to start off, right?
I bet my life, man. What else do you
Well,
want?
you're an idiot.
That's a great.
You're-
That's a. it's a great thing to say because he's either dead and gone by the time the MLS Cup comes
So who
around, so he
cares?
doesn't have to worry about it,
Yeah.
or he gets to talk about how he was right all along. So
Yeah, against Montreal.
it's a
How
good spot to
joyous
get.
is that?
Scotty, as always, appreciate you jumping on. Make sure you check him out with the Drive Pink Dialogue. Any final words?
No, thanks guys for having me. I think this game is big for what they're going to do moving forward. I agree with you. I think they're going to win. Montreal is not a good team, but they have to go out and do it. Thank you so much for having me, guys. You guys can check out me on the Drive Pink Dialogue. But other than that, we'll see you guys next time.
Absolutely. I saw you came to a game recently.
Yeah, and then they started losing, so I didn't want to bring it up.
Did what are your thoughts on new stadium? Outside of the fact that we don't win
Nice.
there. Yeah.
It's nice. It's very nice. And you could, compared to Drive Pink Stadium, that was like glorified high school sort of
Yeah.
medium college stadium.
You know
like
what?
a FAU type.
I
And
went
this
to
is like a
the
real professional stadium.
I went to DC United Stadium and it looked just like Drive Pink Stadium, which was very disappointing.
Really?
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
I like the seats. The seats are nice. I've never seen
Yeah.
seats like that before.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Chris, final words?
You know what? This is perfect. Instead of dying, Danny, if we lose, you move to Canada. How about that?
Oh man, that's like the worst place to move to. I don't speak French.
Well, then go over there. What? If you love Canada,
Who said I love Canada?
I'm just saying it.
Okay.
Chris
All right,
said you
well,
love Canada
Yeah.
just now.
Just so you know, we got to the bottom of this. It took us an hour, but we got to the bottom of this. You put the hex on when you showed up to the stadium, Scotty.
I may have.
Only 57 minutes. I don't know. It's been over an hour on my clock. I don't know.
Yeah.
All
Holy
right.
crap. You're behind, Xavier.
Well, again, I appreciate Scotty for joining us. State of the Herons once a month, and hopefully when we do this again next month after we beat Nashville and we're lifting that Campeones Cup, which is a prestigious cup that we're going to add to our trophy case, we are going to be looking and feeling a lot more optimistic about the rest of the season. So I appreciate you guys. Let's blame Sor. He was also there.
There we go.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
right. Yeah.
Rays. So I appreciate you guys listening. Audio, please leave us 5 stars in a comment. If you watch on YouTube, like and subscribe. And we'll be back on Wednesday talking a little more Herons. So until the next one,
You're a bitch, Danny.
thank you. A good one.